Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I have gone ahead and shown you guys what we're up to on the save file. I know I've been posting videos about playing the save file and kind of showing what's going on so far, but I thought that I would come on and I would explain some of the really big things. So we just released yesterday the second drop of the save file, which means we are now officially moving on to our third drop, which is really exciting. There is a lot of things in development, and I know that seems weird because it's just a save file, but like there are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you guys don't see, and I just want to give you guys like an update of like what we've been working on. So obviously, as you can see here, some things may have changed on the spreadsheet since you last saw them, and this is like the updated and the latest version of the spreadsheet at the moment. So far, we have ended up adding in a furnishings tab, which we think is a really good idea. And we have also added on the right side some more tabs, which are like if the Sims in uni, or the Sims have kids in boarding school, or if they own a car or helicopter, say, or if they have pets and whatever. And then we also have like a notes tab. So these are things that we're adding in. We've decided now to add in animals because I don't know why we didn't think about it at the beginning, but we're also randomizing for like what kind of animals they'll have and so on and so forth. Also, if we're also making like extra notes while we're going through. Now, no, this is like my master version. So this has got extra things. Like if I were to share it with you guys, if you're a member, you're not going to get all of these extra little tidbits. So some things you'll see here that won't be like shown because it's not really relevant for the video. Like I'm not going to show you my plans for the save file. Like that's silly. So we're officially down to the C-cap household on the save file. Everything down to the C-caps is done. They are fully, I would say, if there's any errors, of course, they're at least 98% done, okay? If we've missed something, sure, there's going to be mistakes, but other than that, this is what we've got. So we've got like some people in debt, we've got some people with a bunch of savings, which is really nice. We have some people that just like are living normally, which gives it a little bit more of a variety. We don't want everyone to have lots of money. We don't want everyone to be broke. We also don't want everyone to not owe money or like have saved money. So all of this is like things that we're going through. On the Sims tab, not too much has changed. We have added in a days in tab, which means this is how many days into the life stage that they already are when you start playing them. So if you wanted to, say, play test the save file, you would be going through and checking to make sure that we've set them up as the right ages, because that would be something really important, of course. The fertility is another thing that we've added in. So we're deeming some specific people to be infertile. Some people need to use IVF. Some people will do adoption or whatever. Some people will just have normal fertility. So if anyone is a vampire, they will be written down as infertile. I believe that vampires, knowing that they're technically quote unquote dead, I guess, they would not be able to conceive. It's like having a baby with a zombie. That's weird. Like that body is no longer viable. It doesn't pump blood. It's different. So we deem the vampires to be infertile, and they will be set as such in the game. If you don't want that, you may use your power to set them as fertile if you would like. Otherwise, we're setting them as infertile because that's what makes sense in our mind, and that's the way we're setting up our save file. And then obviously, like, elders and things will be set as infertile because they are not going to be able to conceive in our save file. We are also making sure to set up sexual orientations for people, trying to keep it as not like too in-depth, because the game doesn't really have like an in-depth kind of system. But we're trying to give it like the best we can and make it as versatile as we can. We've also added in a religions tab because we think this is important for some people, especially people who are of these religions, to feel like, you know, they can relate to the Sims. And if, say, you're a Christian or you're an atheist, at least you can relate to that sim. And so we've got a bunch of different ones in here as well. We've also started adding in fame and reputation. I don't believe these were in here the last time, but we have some people that have some fame. And then we also have gone through and started setting some of the aspirations as completed. We've now also added in the infant and toddler traits because we figured those would be fun to be able to look back on. And we have also added in the self-esteem traits because you can get self-esteem from being a child now. And we have also added in different columns for the clubs, which this is just going to be even better for you to keep track of on the education sheet. We've also deemed that you can have multiple careers, and we have rolled, like I said, all the way through CCAP. So this is what we have already gotten, and then these are the hobbies that we're giving people. Now that we've added in a pets tab, because we've been adding pets, we want to let you guys know who the owner of the pet is. So like Ruffles Adams here is in the Adams household, and his master is Iris, which is the mother of that household. But once Iris passes away, if Ruffles is still around, Ruffles will be given to Alistair, and Alistair will be the new sim that is the master of Ruffles. So this is all part of it. There is going to be a bunch of different things. Like, so some people are going to have goats, some people are going to have sheep, crows, rabbits, raccoons, hedgehogs, hamsters, you name it, they've got it. We've also still got our skill sheet going, which I'm pretty sure is the same. We have our info now on crime, because if anyone is in specific careers, say like a bad version of the career, so secret agent villain, astronaut smuggler, criminal career, obviously both branches, any of those that you would deem to be like a negative career, you'll roll to see what happens at the end of each day to see if they get arrested or not. And if they do, obviously, you'll deal with that in the moment, which I have on the calculators. But these are the people in the game so far that are actually in prison when you start playing. So they will actually be in prison or doing community service or whatever to pass their time. We are going through and being very specific about how much time you'll have left, what you're exactly doing, what your crime was, how many offenses you've had, and obviously your gender, because that's going to make a difference in the prison. If you're a female prisoner or a male prisoner, they're obviously not going to be in the same place. And then whoever the name is of the person. We've also got all of our education tabs in here, and I'm pretty sure this is probably the same since you last seen it. We have the businesses and rentals tab. This has changed a bit because we've now decided to do the house shell costs. So this here is just for the businesses side of things. So like the Garden Essence Apartments, which is where Travis Scott lives in the beginning of the game. He lives there with Liberty and Summer. They still live there, but now it's owned by Eric Spencer Kim Lewis. He is the owner of it. He will be passing it down to Olivia when he passes, and it tells you how much the business costs. But on the info shell households, you're also going to probably see it listed here. And the reason is because if they were to ever sell this house, you're going to want to know how much that house would have been worth so that you can keep it at that bare minimum. So like you're going to see here, this is a good example. This is where the Burbs are living in the save file. And they're already there. And I have went through and listed all of the items that the Burbs have brought to the home themselves. So when the Burbs end up either maybe moving out or whatever, they can take these items with them, but everything else is going to stay in the home. And then you're going to write in the value of the home when they move out, and then you'll have your new shell value, because remember that there is like depreciation of the value of the items in the home and the home itself. So when you move out, It'll depreciate to a certain extent. And then when the next person moves in, you'll know what it's supposed to be costing when they move out. This is just a helpful little tool. You guys don't have to use this if you don't want to. I know some people don't like to go this much into their games, but this is what we're doing. So like if you wanted to say move out the Bunch household out of their home, these would be the little bit of things that they would take with them and the rest of the stuff would stay. Then we have the info money. This is where you're going to see all of your loans, all of your mortgages, all of your banking accounts. If you don't use those mods to be able to do these specific things, then what you're going to go ahead and do is you'll have to keep track of it or whatever on your own free time. And this would be money that you would be able to add to them whenever you're whenever you're available to do so. There's a lot of different very cool banking mods. I use SMB Bank. I think it's the best. I don't have any problems with it, and I can transfer money to and from multiple people, which is just really helpful for me in a pinch, and it's the way I like to play. Obviously, that's not for everyone, so just take it with a penny of salt. I know that there's also like mods out there where you can have like a little piggy bank that you can put money into. It's just like a literal piggy bank. And then obviously I think you can like break it and then you'll pick up all the money or what, you'll take all the money from it or whatever. But yeah, so those are other options, I guess, out there that you could check into. On this college spreadsheet, I know I've went over it in my videos, but if you don't watch those videos, you wouldn't know. So my spreadsheet here has a very intricate college spreadsheet. We're going to be doing all of our not university, but all of our uni students with a mod where you can, it's called SimU, and you can do the degrees right on the computer, and you can take as long as you want and do them at your own pace. It's going to be better this way because then we don't have to worry about our Sims flunking out when we're playing rotationally. This way we can just keep them going through it as much as we want when we're playing as them to an extent. We also have a way for your Sims to get scholarships because these are the costs of going to university in our save file. And the scholarships will help you so that you don't have to pay so much. Every different degree has a college schedule that you will follow to the T, pretty much. And then at the end, we have a very intricate way of going over how exactly you decide how well your sim is doing, like grade-wise. There are elective classes, and then there are all of these skill classes that we have deemed to be, you know, ones that we think could be helpful. And then you will have to pick specific skills. So like on a skill day, you'll have to pick one of, say you're going for art history, you'd have to pick one of these 5 skills. And then when you come back around on day 6 and you have another skill day, you will pick either an elective or one of your skills again. And it can't be the same skill. So if you worked on archaeology on day 1, you can't work on it on day 6. So you'd work on like photography or something else. This is the skills that you've worked on. We've got all of them listed in here, so we should be good to go. Next on this, we have the Old Castle Academy, which I'm pretty sure we showed you. It's kind of the same concept as the college spreadsheet, except for we've broken it down into houses with colors, which your Sims uniforms will represent. So when your children are all in the university, they will be using these outfits. So you have your llama house, which, has these household members. Then you have your freezer bunnies, your gnomes, and your Grim. And then you also have your, over here, we're going to be doing scholarships as well for your Sims, because your Sims are going to have to pay, I think it is 70 or 7,500 per student. So if you have multiple children going, say you have 3, that's quite a bit of money. And so it's going to be nice for you to be able to not have to worry about that. We have went through and split up specific skills that your professors are going to be teaching at specific times based on the classes and the time frame. This is the time frame that they're going to go ahead and teach those specific skills. So you'll have to kind of come back to this and see exactly what you're working on, but it should be good otherwise. We also have a taxes calculator, and this needs to be updated a little bit as well. But this is the household here, which again, I think we need to still have more added to this. I don't think this is all of them. It will calculate your gross worth, it'll calculate your percentage, and it will calculate your total owed. And then it will take all the deductions off, which are the green ones, and it will add all of the luxury bills to it to give you a final remaining like amount that you owe. And then this is what's still remaining to be paid. So if you paid something here, it would be subtracted from the remaining. Then we have our info expenses. This is actually going to be removed. We are not going to need this anymore because it is actually on the Prima guide, which I will show you. We also have our clubs. I know they're all written in red. That is just for me. Eventually they will all be written in black or white or whatever color we decide. But for right now, the red ones are the ones I need to create the clubs or put people into those clubs. So I haven't gotten around to being able to go through that yet. This is all of the Sims in the save file at the moment that I know of that are in clubs and that are important. Some of the clubs are empty. There will be a ton of clubs in this save file, so you should never be bored of your clubs because they should be ever changing every time. We are also going to come up with a way for you to do a club gathering with each different club. So if you have played as Amelia Ernest and you've done that club, which is the Chess Legends, you will tick this off and you will know that that's done, which means the next time you have someone in that club, they're not going to do a meeting again because Amelia Ernest already called the meeting once that rotation and you won't need to. Now, if you wanted to call another one of those meetings, if you really wanted to go out and do those activities, you can, but in our opinion, your sim will need to live close enough to it where the leader of the club will already be living close to those clubs, so they won't need to worry about it. And when they call you over, it'll be like you've traveled to go see them. A lot more needs to be added to this. Of course, we are still in working progress on this, and the upcoming club members means people that are going to be moving into that club, just in case, say you had more Sims than you could fit in the clubs, you could have like a wait list almost of Sims who are waiting. When an elder passes and then the space opens up, you would immediately add that Sim to the club that is next in line. That way you wouldn't have to worry about people not having clubs. We also have our charts here. So these are our hobbies, our aspirations, which have the primary as blue and the secondary as red. We also have a count of personality traits per sim. So each sim gets one of the infant traits, and it's just unhappy, top notch, or happy. And you can see we've kind of tried to make it as even as possible. We have a little less unhappy, which is probably good. Not so bad. Then we have our ages and our genders. As you can see, the highest for us are 120 female women and only 96 young adults. So this is going to help you to plan accordingly for, like, you know, if your generations are getting kind of overwhelmed, like this is a little bit overwhelming that there's like 24 more females than males, we can kind of go in and say, you know what, we probably should put in some more male households into even just non-played Sims so that we can know that there's an excess amount of them so that the people aren't going to end up just being like without a partner because they can't seem to find one from the pool of people. So this is really good. So you can see infants. We've got a couple of infants in here. We've got less than males than females, but then we have more male toddlers than we do females, which will be good for the swap here between the two. We have no newborns because obviously we're not going to start out with too many of those. We have the exact number of children, which is really cool, and also obviously no preteens because that's a mod for myself. And then we have just a couple more teen females, then we do males, but then the big jump is here, and then it gets back closer together as adults, and then as elders, it's again equal. We also have religions here, so you can see the religions on here about what religion the Sims are pretty much taking. So atheist and Christianity are probably our two highest. One of our lowest is Jediism, and then probably the second lowest is Hinduism. Yeah, Hinduism, I think. But we have tried our best to include as many religions as possible without overwhelming it a bit. We also have our vanilla charts for the education majors like university. The careers that people are going into, just know that a lot of this is underage because they are literally like teen and below. I kind of wish this wasn't in here because it does kind of like alter this a bit, but we don't have very many people in these other things because we haven't went through and put everyone in yet. So this will change over time, which will be kind of cool to look back on and see exactly what's been going on with it. Then we have our modded charts. Oh, wait. We also have our teen clubs and jobs here. Then we have the modded charts, which is exactly the same as the unmodded. It's just showing the difference in like unemployed and whatever Sims, because this is the different careers, the modded version of the careers, because we have a modded and unmodded version. And then we also have our teen clubs and stuff here. We also have a list of our aspirations down below. So this one is the unmodded aspirations, so the ones that you get with just the game. And then we have our modded chart, which has all of the extra aspirations. I'm not even sure this is all of them, honestly. I feel like this isn't. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, so that's all the aspirations. The data stuff, don't worry about any of that. That's all stuff for like the information for the sheet to pull from. And then the other thing I want to show you guys is the Prima guide. So the last time I showed you this, we didn't have too much going for it, but I have really put some hard breaking work into it, especially today. I think I spent about 5 hours working on the next job, well, the save file, but pretty much the Prima guide for this drop that just happened. So we have our traveling system here, and we explain like if you're riding a bike, it takes 4 hours per step, which is based on our map. And if you spend this time at a you have to spend the time at Romer's Respite, which is in Strangerville. If you take a bus, it's a 3 hours per step. Teen adults and young adults and adults, it costs 30, but elders, it costs 20. Children and below are free. You spend this time at the specific place. If you're in a cult, the info for traveling is down here for you because they are a little bit different. Like obviously if a vampire has bat form, then they're just going to fly through the air. They're not going to take any kind of transportation. You know what I'm saying? Then we also have the thing that I said that was going to be on the spreadsheet. This here is it. So if you're a broke class, these are what will be on your broke class lots, which is our minimum amount of simoleons. Then we have our Lothario. We have our pancakes, our caliente, our crumple bottom, our alto, our land grab, and our goth. So this is what makes them these specific lots. Then we have all of the list of the play order, which also needs to be updated. This is not all of them. Please take note. The list of the broke class lots. So far, we have one of them. We have a couple of the Lotharios. We have one pancake. We have a couple caliente, a couple crumple bottom. We don't have any alto in at the moment. We have one land grab and a couple of goth lots. Then we go through and do our entire household bio. So we write up a bio for the family. We take photos of the family itself, take a photo of the house with the name of the lot, and this all goes on here. We do this for every one of our families, and as you can see, we are getting quite down to the higher numbers. We are down to the C caps. As you can see, this is them, and they have their household 20, which is the last one we just did, but we will be on page 89 when we finish everything we have for them. So that is the Prima Guide so far. There will be more things added to this over time, but that is pretty much the big gist of it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the fixes that we did from version 1 to version 2. I'm just kind of going to go down the list and read it to you guys and explain to you guys kind of like if you're confused what we've done. Other than that, excuse me. Other than that, we have added obviously the 10 households and the lots that are needed for those households and went from there. So the first fix we did, the Iris Adams household, we added a trash can because I forgot to add one when I created the lot. So I went back in and made sure to add one, like an outside trash can, so you can empty your trash cans from the inside of your house. Allender, we had to move his dresser kind of into the wall a little bit, not too far where it looks ridiculous, but a little bit, because you couldn't walk between the dresser and the bed in his little tiny apartment. So I wanted to push it in a little bit so that you could walk between it now, and then you could like bring people home to woohoo or whatever with him, like Iris, since he's in kind of like in a relationship with her a little bit. But anyways, so that's what we did to fix that. At the mall, where we're going to have like a bunch of different shops, literally a mall, we added the smoke alarm and sprinkler systems because there is a grill on the lot and we just wanted to make sure that things would be okay. The wallpaper was painted in the Adams house that was missed near the water heater. Now it is not missed. It is completely painted. Looks great. So we wanted to note that it was fixed so that people wouldn't think, what the heck, like these people are crazy, they forgot that piece of paper. It would irk me if I seen it, so I wanted to cover and fix it for you guys. We added pizzas to the pizza parlor and the yum yard, which are able to be bought because that lot is for a date in one of the Sims storylines for the Prima Guide, and so we wanted to make sure that was covered so you had pizzas that you could purchase when you go there. This train station, when I put it down, for some reason, it's set to residential. I have since went back and made it generic, so you don't have to worry about the fact that you won't be able to go inside. The store sign on the mall shop, which was, it's like more of like a modded thing, but it was added so that we could set things for sale with if people had that mod in. The vents were added to the mall as they were missing, and the thermostat, which is also modded, but I play with it. It's the Lot 51 mod. It makes the game so much more realistic and more fun that your Sims actually get cold, and like when they walk through the front door, they're not just immediately warm. Like, where does that warmth come from? Well, it comes from that vent that's on your ceiling or your wall or your floor or wherever. We corrected the relationships of the Wolf, Della Rosa, Huxley, DeMurray households because I forgot to set them as played, and when you don't do that and you press play in your save, those households will be taken over by story progression because it thinks that you're not playing as them, even if they're set as your household. So I went through, I fixed those relationships, I moved those people back into their correct households, which is the next thing, and made sure that they're set as played so that will never happen again. We have actually added in the Greenwood Correctional Facility, which is the prison, as I was talking about, because we deemed that to be an important part of the save file. Having the prison in there, allowing you guys to play a prison is such a different kind of experience than playing a normal household that I think you guys will really enjoy it. It is really fun for me. I hope that you guys will enjoy it as well and enjoy being able to do that. We have deducted $12,800 from Iris Adams because she got a college diploma, and we wanted to make sure that we're incorporating the fact that these people would have already gotten that degree, so they would have had to pay. We also added the power aspiration trait to ECADE, which is technically modded, but it is one of our biggest parts of how we determine what somebody's aspiration and such is. So this is like a big part for us. And so we wanted to make sure that was in there for anyone who's playing it with the mods. If you don't play it with the mods, that's absolutely fine. That's your option. But this is just for every version of the game. We added Batuans to the life states because we wanted to add some of the Batu aliens to a household to include that pack. I know everybody doesn't love that pack, and not everybody wants to play with that pack, and not everybody wants to have those aliens in their game, or not everyone has that game. That's fine. You don't have to play with it or play with that household, you could just, if you have the pack, you could just choose not to play as them and just take them off of your spreadsheet, or you could play with them and see maybe you really enjoy it. And if you don't have the pack at all, it'll just delete the household. It's no big deal. It probably would just make them look like humans, honestly. We corrected the ages on the spreadsheet to now show the correct numbers because some of them were wrong, or some of them said plus. It'd be like they were 20 days in, but they still had 28 days as a vampire. That doesn't really make sense. They would have used the days as a vampire first before using their actual ages. So we've corrected all of that. We added the calculator and calculated down the Bell household for the university degrees, like all the way down to the Bell household. We've actually calculated now all the way down to the I think we did all the CCAP, all the way down to the CCAP. I'm going to triple check that now because it says to the Bell household. But technically, I think that should be down to the CCAP household for the university degree scholarships and tuition amounts. We added a calendar for university, which I've already showed you to the modded stuff. We also added the fertility tab. We added a St. Sim's church to Windenburg. We added the confined cabin in Granite Falls. So if your sim wants to go on vacation, there's at least one lot to take them to start. All teen aspirations have been rolled now for if they were completed or not. Before that, we just had them set as blank, but now they are completely rolled. We added the Luscious Llama restaurant to San Myshuno. Again, it's part of the Prima Guide, so we're trying to add that we're adding these specific lots in as well. The next 10 sim households have been edited and added to the playable sims. We tweaked the flight times for the planes because they were a little bit too long and we noticed that it was going to be too much. So if you're playing with that like traveling system that we have going, we wanted you guys not to have to wait so long in between actually playing. The docks have been added to Innisgreen and Nordhaven on the map. We made a change to the international hub lots travel times. The global lots, they're going to be immediate, like they're in your world, so you wouldn't have to wait to travel to any of them. We updated the maps and added island names now. Lisa Bunch was moved to Mount Komorebi because she doesn't live with the Bunch family anymore. We assigned classes to the apartment buildings in San Myshuno, so like they're either broke or Lothario or whatever, as I was showing on the Prima Guide, so now they'll have items specifically set for that. We corrected the Daisy Hovel apartment on the business sheet because it wasn't correct. It had incorrect information, so we made sure to correct it to be right. We added the 3 units to lots in the save file as dorms. So the 3 unis are from like the Sims 3, so the La Fiesta Tech, the Sim State, and the Academy Le Tour. Those are the 3 unis that we are using because, like I said, we are using the modded version of this, not the in-game, because the in-game is awful. The way it's set up, you cannot play rotationally with it. So this mod is saving us. So we have added that those will be the universities that our sims are going to. We added the Enchanted by Nature sims to the spreadsheet and moved some of them to other worlds or households depending on what we deem to be appropriate. We added the L Lum household to the spreadsheet and the A Alto household to the spreadsheet because we want people who are connected to people that are already in the worlds to be in there. A Alto is obviously connected to the Alto household and we already had them in there, so we added them. We also added the Hernandez household and the Medina household because they are connected to the A Alto households. We added the Ojitas to the Golden Years estate, which is like our old people home, and that is because they are also connected to another household in the save file. The Jiang will be moved to San Myshuno. It is now noted on the spreadsheet. She's not actually moved there yet, but she will be going. C. Monty will be residing in Brindleton Bay instead of in Windenburg. The Kipling household will be moving to Del Sol Valley, which is also shown on the spreadsheet. She's kind of just not placed at the moment. We moved the Mahiahi to the Huts in Sulani, which is also shown on the spreadsheet. And we added a column on the business sheet to show if the apartments are fully, partially, or non-furnished, which is what I was telling you about the items that you can take with you when you leave. We added a vacuum to the A. Monty household because we want every household to have a vacuum for busted dust, and I forgot to give them one. We added a column to the spreadsheet for pets, which I've also showed you. We added a pet sheet for all the furry friends we're adding. Again, showed you. I remodeled the entire science lab and it's got like a teleportation thing to get into it. It's really cool. Hope you guys will check it out. And yeah, it's been added into the save file now. Added a sheet to the spreadsheet for the house shell values. So you are able to see the house shell values like I showed you earlier. We added a mosque to Oasis Springs for all the religious needs. We updated the child teen club and job section on the Sims tab. We moved Benali to a new apartment and gave him his new apartment a new renovation because he's actually broke and he was living in one that was above broke. We added a shed and animals to the Adams family home. We added an aquarium to the Aether household. We added a rabbit hutch and a bubulus to Silas Allender's apartment. We added a butler to the Bailey Moon household because we figured they're very rich, so they would have one. We added a cat and a hedgehog to the Bailey Moon household. We fixed the relationships with all the Bailey Moon household Sims because we forgot to have them know each other and be friends with each other, which is kind of silly. We also fixed Anoki and Ricky's aspirational traits because they were wrong. And we fixed Fang Cho's aspirational trait, which is the Akiyama household. We gave Fang Cho the chopstick savvy trait because he is the maid at the Akiyama household in Mount Komorebi. And we just thought that because he is Asian, that he would obviously probably have grown up using chopsticks, so he would be very good with them. We gave Vita Alto the 3 level 2 skills, the 3 level 2 skills for her job, which are programming, robotics, and handiness. Those are the 3 we gave her. We added a sheet to the Prima guide for how to set up the home regions mod settings. I don't think we actually did that now that I see this, because I think we were supposed to, but I don't think it actually got done. The map has been updated to show Gibby Point, and the travel routes have been added to it. We gave Anoki Moon a degree in biology because he was supposed to have one from The Sims 3. We also fixed Buddy Bailey not being a werewolf. I don't know how we missed this. And we also made him part of the Renegades, the Wild Thing Renegades. That is pretty much what we did for this drop. These are all like fixes or additions. We will keep adding and fixing everything we can. I think this drop is going to be much better. It's not going to need so many fixes. There won't be so many mistakes. Hopefully we'll get better and better as we go along. I don't really have anything else to show you. I just wanted to kind of give you an update on where we are on the spreadsheet and like what's going on with the save file and such, because not everyone is able to access it, because right now, like I said, it is for early access ish, quote unquote. If you're a member on my YouTube channel, then you can get access to it, because that's just like how I can have people help me play test it in a sense. So if you really want to play test it, or you really want the spreadsheet or any of these really good goodies, then definitely think about maybe joining so you can help play test it. We would really appreciate the help with play testing. It is a lot of time consuming, especially if you play like with the Prima guide, kind of like we've set it kind of up like a Sims 2 save kind of thing. But anyways, I hope that every one of you members enjoy the save file. I hope that you guys will enjoy checking out the new Sims and all the new builds and all the new creations and all the new additions and fixes and everything else that we've done to the save file. I hope that you guys will really, really enjoy it. I am really sorry that it took so long to get another update out for this time, and I really hope you guys can understand. Now with the holidays coming up, I do worry that there's going to be a long time again. I do hope that this will hold you over until we're able to get the next drop, which is a double drop. It is 20 households instead of 10, so get excited, because I'm excited. I'm excited to get into the next drop. I'm excited to show you guys what we've got going, and I will promise to make at least a monthly update on the save file, because I know it's a big part of my save or my channel at the moment. I know it's a lot of what I put my time and effort into. I really hope that you guys are enjoying it. I hope that a lot of you guys will check it out, or at least check out the videos to kind of see what's going on. Even if you don't watch the entire video, I would understand if you skip through, kind of looked at the lots that we traveled to, looked at what's been going on, and listen to the Sims stories. There are some really good storylines that we have written up on the Prima guide. I hope that you guys will enjoy this. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video as well, and I will talk to you guys in my very next one. Thanks very much for watching.